So, trumpet vine, get this. Bindweed, you've got to dig this out actually. And also the ditch lilies. I would wipe out this whole area actually, if I were you. You have creeping bellflower everywhere. You're not gonna get it under control because it's so bad back there, but you know what it is, okay. Spirea, spreading everywhere, Japanese spirea. Not great. I would actually take this down because you've already seen it now. We're volunteering in a couple different spots. Like there. Multiflora rose, not good, invasive. Barberry, invasive. You've got your Japanese knotweed over there, invasive. Wisteria, on the verge of invasive, I hope, any day now. Then you've got, not to be confused with like the multiflora rose, you've got the mock orange, that's different. So similar looking, but not. The multiflora rose is a rose, but not good. Then you've got honeysuckle, Japanese honeysuckle, winding its way around your beautiful azalea. Cut this back and off. So the thing is, you've got all these things that you would like to cut and basically treat, like the stump. Okay, so you cut it and you treat it and you move on. That's the fall or early winter, late summer even. And you just need a place for the carnage, you know. But then you move on. And then you're like the rest of us, and you've got like the black swallowwort over there that you have to deal with, and the creeping bellflower is all in your grass. Okay, whatever, you're not gonna fight, you're not gonna win that one. And then you're monitoring the Japanese knotweed, but everything else, and the wisteria, and then everything else is kind of, you know, taken care of. Then you can have fun. Okay, so eventually, so you're gonna deal with you're gonna get rid of everything here, except this little big leaf hydrangea, which is in decent shape, but it's a little wonky. You got rid of a ton of stuff. Great. At the end of the season, do nothing. Do nothing. In the spring, I would just, not because these are gonna be no good, but because it's very wonky looking, I would just probably take it down to like this height. So everything is kind of, but see about the growth. It may be that all this growth comes up to this height, in which case, great, just take the tops off. What you want to see is growth at the bottom, and it's good. Now you've cleaned all this stuff out, more growth can come up. But let's see how tall this stuff is at the end of the season. Then I would make things kind of uniform. You could do that at the end of the season, or you could do it next spring, but whatever you do, don't cut this down to the ground, okay? Because you're cutting off the potential buds. You're cutting off basically the the leaf buds, which then become flowers later on the stems, okay? I think, you know, your privets, you can bring them way down. You can do whatever you want with those because those are beasts. So if you want more visual barrier for privacy on both sides, counterintuitively what you do is you bring that down. Then it bushes out like this. So then it becomes thick and lush. So like you can take 50% off and it will fill in beautifully. Like if you cut here, you're gonna get a bunch of new growth, which is gonna go like this. So if you wipe, like I wouldn't do a flat top or anything, but if you know, layer it, like, you know, you're just gonna get a ton more new growth. Same thing with your lilac. So I would also streamline this a little bit, and same thing with the spirea. It just makes it more full. You've done an amazing job, I think, of cleaning out. You said 50 bags. I mean, I can't even imagine what this looked like. So now just keep going. So, and here's your bittersweet, here and here, and it's winding itself around. So that's also in the same category as if it's thick enough, you cut and treat. If it's not, the thing to do with bittersweet is pull it. I mean, always if you can dig it out, that's the best thing to do. But some people treat bittersweet if it's too thin to cut and treat with foliar spray, like spraying. So here's the thing I was saying about like, I would research because all the names of the things. I think you can use glyphosate for all of the things. If you had tree of heaven, that would be different because that's triclopyr usually. So I think you can use glyphosate on all of the things that you have to get rid of and then wipe the slate clean. The thing is that I think there's different applications. So you want 2.5 to 3% concentration spray for the knotweed. But then for a stump killer, I showed you that thing where you go around the outside. That's a different concentration. So I think you want to research what that is, like for stump killer amount. You can buy like 42% glyphosate and then follow the instructions obviously on the thing. Dilute it to 2.5–3% for the knotweed, and you're spraying. And for the stump killer, maybe it's that same concentration, I don't know. Then you can put it in a little container. There's something called a buckthorn blaster, which is just the container, which is like a bingo dauber, that thing I showed you. That's a buckthorn blaster.
Okay.
Then you need the chemicals to go inside of it. So if you borrow from neighbors or something, like, hey, I have a bunch of things, you guys have any? I don't want to buy new. Do you have any? Okay, then you're reducing the creation of more chemicals. So, lilac. This is a very thick trunk. This is very old. You have flowers, but they're so far away you can't reach them. You can't even begin to smell them. I think, and you've got a lot happening here. It's promising. It's healthy. I would completely get rid of this whole branch here.
When you say all the way at the ground.
I would cut it down to like here. New growth will come off of it, I bet. Then I would take the height off some of these other things. Just bring it down. I would leave something like this, have this be the height of your new plant. And everything else that's taller, I would bring it down, leave things like this, get rid of the dead stuff. So you're cleaning out the clutter, you're bringing it down, you're taking this big thing away. And then you don't have any more really thick ones, actually, but this one, I might take this off next year. And then and by pruning, you're going to get a ton of new growth probably off the bottom. Then you're going to need to be thinning these out. You don't want a ton of those little new stems coming up, but you do want some, because as you see, this is your new plant.
Yeah.
Okay, does that make sense? And do that now because it's just bloomed. So you have you have a couple weeks, and to really maximize for next year. But if you miss the window, who cares? Just do it anyway. Right? Like, you have a life, you have a real life. Just do the best you can. And then just, get it done. And you'll probably get flowers here. The thing is, it's like, this is creating so much shade. So you're not even able to get anything down here. Anyway, right? Like, bring the canopy down.
Yeah.
Thin it out, bring stuff down, get rid of the thick trunks or branches. And then, you're almost rebooting. It's almost a reboot. But this is, very happy, mostly. Okay? There we go. Here we talked about your yews and your rhododendron are in great shape. You did a great job. And you keep going. I would do more. I would take more off the top, and I would do the cuts behind the foliage in the front, so you can't see the kind of the empty branches up there. So you can see them here if you go down another foot or so and leave the face of this stuff. You won't see it. But you could, if you wanted, what I was saying is, the new growth on the trunks, that's if you want, here's your new plant. If you ever wanted to be totally radical, just cut everything back and then start from scratch. I don't think you should, these are nice. Here, if you want to keep it approximately the same height, after they bloom, just go down, like this. Here's your, all your new growth, it's great. Just to kind of keep it under control. Eventually, if you wanted to be ambitious here, be pretty, to add another layer. So here, like this, okay? And then you're keeping these back, and then what you're having here is some nice full sun perennials, okay? So like your coreopsis or your butterfly milkweed and your asters, and maybe some catmint or salvia or balloon flower or blue eye Samsonia, or I'm just throwing a bunch of things out there.
Yeah, love
these are things from spring, echinacea, but the bunnies. But spring through fall, okay? All right, that's it.
Awesome.